One thing Republicans seem to absolutely love is bootstrap mythology. They love to talk about being self-made, pulling themselves up by their bootstraps, coming from nothing and building something. What happens when you start to interrogate these claims oftentimes is that they're lies. And I'm really happy that Senator Markwayne Mullin from Oklahoma is giving me such a great example of this. Republicans have long been attacking DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. They attack DEI because of racism, certainly, but also because of their dedication to their bootstrap mythology, to the myth of meritocracy. Since taking office, Donald Trump has centered these attacks on DEI, specifically by issuing an executive order, ending radical and wasteful government DEI programs and preferencing. The goal with this is to terminate, quote, illegal DEI and diversity, equity, and inclusion and accessibility, DEIA, mandates, policies, programs, preferences, and activities in the federal government under whatever name they appear. And Republicans are making the rounds to defend these DEI attacks. Enter Senator Markwayne Mullin, who posted this on Twitter, quote, "Let's talk about DEI. I grew up in Indian country, living on the same land my ancestors were forced to move to. I was born with bowed knees and a bad speech impediment. I lived in a barn. I never let that be an excuse. Today we all have equal opportunity in America." And the post ends with an American flag emoji. He attached a video to this post too, and we'll get to that. But first, I want to hear more about this barn. What happened there? You were in a barn? More information is needed, Markwayne. But this is so typical of the bootstrap mythology. It often becomes this sort of tragedy off where people list these obstacles that they have overcome in order to say, see, I did it, so can you. But how self-centered? How lacking in creativity and the ability to see beyond one's own experiences? Yeah? We do not have equal opportunity in America. And Markwayne Mullin is about to prove it to you. Let's see what he has to say in this video.
So are you worried that by eliminating those programs, that certain people in our society are going to not have a fair shot?
Who are those people that start behind? Because I grew up in Indian country. I live on the same place that my family got forced to move to before 1840. I'm the first one in my family to ever be in politics. I started business when I was 20 years old from necessity. I didn't get handed anything other than an opportunity because the family needed help, and I took advantage of it.
Let's pause here because that's not true. And you can hear his hesitation because he knows he's misrepresenting his history. He says he started a business when he was 20 years old from necessity, that he didn't get handed anything. Markwayne, you inherited your father's plumbing company. Is that not being handed something? Let's look at the Mullin Plumbing website here. Mullin Plumbing Inc. has been serving the plumbing needs of Oklahoma residents since 1973. And I'll just note here quickly that Markwayne was not even alive at this time. Continuing with the website. The company was founded by Jim Mullin as a drain and septic service provider. In the early 1990s, Jim's son Markwayne Mullin took over the family business and expanded it into a full-service plumbing company, offering installation, repair, and maintenance services. So when Markwayne says he didn't get handed anything, but then adds an addendum and says, other than an opportunity, what he means is he inherited a company from his father. So we're not starting off on the best foot here as far as the bootstrap narrative goes. Didn't I tell you that it always falls apart? Let's hear more from Markwayne, though. Let's see how Markwayne's personal experiences of adversity should somehow be generalized to the entire population as an explanation for why people don't deserve assistance.
I had a bad speech impediment. I was never supposed to even be able to play sports because my feet were turned in and my hips were out of place. But I didn't allow it to use it as an excuse. I just took every opportunity that came to me and I gave 100%. So tell me who you're talking about, because we have the civil rights already in the United States where we're not able to discriminate. against anyone, regardless of their race, regardless of their religion, regardless of their skin color or their sexual preference. So explain to me who you say that's at a disadvantage inside the United States, because we all had the same opportunity. Only in America we can grow up and be here.
We can talk about the redlining that went on for decades, that the federal government actually sponsored, that forced black people, wouldn't allow them to live in the same neighborhoods.
I'm talking about today, Alex. I'm talking about today. I'm talking about what's happening in my lifetime. I can't control what happened in the 60s.
No one is asking you to control what happened in the 60s, Markwayne. They are asking you to understand that the 60s weren't that long ago, and that the racist policies that created disparities between black people and white people should be acknowledged as a factor in those existing disparities today. This isn't complicated. And I love when he says that we have civil rights. With Donald Trump's executive orders, I'm sitting here wondering for how much longer, but he says you can't discriminate. Yeah? Maybe a better phrase is that, you're not supposed to discriminate. As we know, people continue to discriminate. But let's give him one more chance to make his case.
Today, we all have equal opportunity. I can't control the way we're raised. We all have a different path that we're raised. We all have a different background. And I've said that multiple times. We make decisions on the way we're raised and our life experiences. But everybody in America right now has an opportunity. Just what are you going to do with that opportunity? It may not be a great opportunity today, but each day you take advantage of the opportunity that's in front of you, the next opportunity will be a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. It's just, are you willing to keep walking through those doors and being uncomfortable, or are you going to let your past or your circumstances hold you back?
I find this line of thinking so disturbing. One thing I thought of was a book I just finished reading. I'm going to interview the author on my channel next month. His book comes out in March. It's called There Is No Place for Us, Working and Homeless in America. And it's by the author Brian Goldstone. And it's such an important read. I hope you'll either watch that interview when it comes out or get the book and read it, ideally both. But in the book, he follows 5 families in Atlanta who are teetering on the edge of homelessness and who are ultimately pushed into it. And you see how that can happen to people who are working as hard as they can to prevent it from happening. And I think about the kids in those families. And I think about how Markwayne Mullin telling them that they have equal opportunity and that they just need to make the right choices when they are homeless, worried about their younger siblings, worried about their stomachs growling at night, unable to focus because all they can think about is whether they will have somewhere safe and warm and stable to live. They have equal opportunity, Markwayne? When obstacle after obstacle after obstacle, including racism, yes, is thrown in their way. And maybe the reason this is so frustrating to me is that I could be this person. I could be a person who says, hey, I was born to 2 parents who dropped out of high school. My dad got his GED in prison the same year I graduated high school. He died by suicide after a 16-year prison sentence. All of these things are true, by the way. Both of my parents struggled with substance abuse, mental illness. My mom struggled all the time to provide for 4 kids on her own. I grew up on welfare, getting handouts from the church constantly. But look at me. I have a Master of Science in Clinical Psychology, and I have found my way to stability. Why can't everyone else? But that would be grotesque. Instead, what I say is, I was forever changed by public assistance, food stamps, Pell Grants, Medicaid. I was lucky that people cared about me and tried to help me. Not everyone has that. I could never tell someone, follow my path, because so much of it is luck rather than the choices I made. Based on those experiences, I support government assistance because I know it is an investment we make in people, just as that investment was made in me. And I'm not pulling that ladder up behind me. People like Markwayne Mullin, they started a few rungs up on the ladder and they still want to pull it up. It's time we refuse to accept the cruelty of the bootstrap mythology and face reality. Some people need help. And we should seek to create a society that offers that help because it's the right thing to do. My name is Brittany Page, and I host The Page Perspective on YouTube, and I would love it if you could help me to 100,000 subscribers by heading to my channel to subscribe.
Well, I wrote a book after a long journey and a ton of work. I am really thrilled with how it turned out, and I hope you'll read it. The book is called The Echo Machine, and in a nutshell, it looks at how American politics got so broken, who has already figured out solutions, and how we can try to fix it and stop the terror of Trump for the next 4 years. With Trump winning this election, The Echo Machine couldn't be more relevant, not only a warning about how we got here, but also about what might be coming and how to prevent the worst outcomes. We've got to stay engaged. We need a plan, and that's what the book is about. There's a belief out there that unless you have corporate media behind you, you can't have a successful political book launch, that it's not possible. I think we can prove that wrong. Order The Echo Machine today at davidpakman.com/echo on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Audible, Kindle, anywhere that books, ebooks, and audiobooks are sold. You can also call any local bookstore and say, please order me The Echo Machine by David Pakman. Wherever you get the book, you'll get the free pre-order perks, including the signed book plate. Head to davidpakman.com/free book stuff after ordering.